When I look back over the winding paths of my life, especially at the chapters that unfolded without any warning, there's one story that rises to the surface every single time. It's the kind of story that begins like a whisper, quiet but persistent, no signposts, no warnings, just a quiet pull that grew louder with every step. No maps, no GPS, no ticking clock, just me, a companion I hadn't expected, and a journey that would slowly, then all at once, reshape how I saw patience, trust, and the fragile, fierce joy of simply being alive. My name is Emily, and I grew up in a town most people would never find on a map. Buried in the heart of Colorado, life there had a rhythm you could fall asleep to. Slow, predictable, safe. Mountains stood in every direction, silent and unmoving, and fields spread like patchwork under a sky too big to hold. Some mornings, you could hear hooves echoing down the gravel roads, like ghosts from another time. My father, Mark, was a man of quiet conviction who loved animals the way some people collect secrets. He often said, "Every creature holds a story. You just have to be still long enough to hear it." I never really understood what he meant, not until the day Charlie arrived. Charlie was no ordinary donkey. He looked like trouble, and wisdom had shaken hands. His ears drooped like tired sails, and his dark eyes seemed to see beyond everything. He was stubborn in a way that dared you to argue. No soft coats or storybook charm, just a weathered creature and a presence you couldn't explain. Something about him made me uneasy and curious all at once. It began one thick, humming summer afternoon at a worn-down farm auction. The air buzzed with heat and murmurs. Hay, old wood, tension. People wandered, dealing in animals, wagons, equipment. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just drifting through it. Then I saw him, tethered alone at the edge of the lot, a small gray donkey. His ears twitched like he was listening to a song no one else could hear. His fur was patchy, hooves uneven, but those eyes, they didn't just carry a story. They held something ancient. Bidding rose and fell around us, voices sharp. Horses were gone in minutes, wagons too, but the donkey remained, still, quiet, unwanted, as if waiting for someone who hadn't come. My heart twisted, and I don't know why. I looked at my dad. He met my eyes, paused, and gave me a nod that said more than words could. "If you want him," he murmured, "then let's take him home." And just like that, Charlie entered my life. Strange, silent, and unshakably his own. At first, everything was difficult. Donkeys aren't easy, and Charlie was all resistance and grit. Leading him anywhere was a test of will. He would stop suddenly, like he knew something I didn't, and plant his feet until the moment passed. Feeding him was unpredictable. Some days he liked apples, others, he ignored everything but wild grass. But slowly, almost secretly, something began to shift. We stopped being strangers. That summer, I started taking him on short trails. Each walk lasted longer, the silence between us deeper, but less lonely. Then one night, I blurted it out. What if Charlie and I left? Just left. A real trip? My dad laughed. Me and that donkey? He shook his head. You'll need patience and a ridiculous amount of snacks. But he didn't say no. He saw something I hadn't yet. Sometimes, he said, you follow the path before you understand the reason. So I prepared. A small canvas bag, water, dried fruit, journal, blanket, apples. When morning came, the sky burned gold and rose. Charlie stood beside me, ears twitching like he already knew change was coming. No destination, no map, just forward. Through pine shadows, across wildflower fields, we walked. He moved at his pace, and I learned to match it. Then, the second day, trouble. A shallow river, quick and cold. I stepped in. Charlie didn't. He froze, hooves in the sand, eyes locked on the current. I pulled. He didn't flinch. I begged. Nothing. I sat, frustrated and tired. Then my dad's words echoed again. Patience. Trust. I waited. 1 hour, 2. Then slowly. Hoof. Pause. Hoof. Charlie stepped forward and crossed. A lesson carved deep into me. Sometimes progress waits for silence. We met people along the way. Campers, wanderers, old souls. A boy's family offered bread. Asked if Charlie could give him a ride. He did. So gently it made my breath catch. Another day, an old woman on her porch whispered, "They're not stubborn, dear. They just think before they leap." Her words followed me. Nights became chapters I didn't want to end. Under a sky full of stars, I'd lie on my blanket, speaking thoughts I never dared to say aloud. Charlie rested nearby, his figure silvered by the moon, ears twitching like he heard every word. One night, after a brutal hike, my strength crumbled. I slumped to the ground, tears hot and sharp. Charlie nudged me, firm, insistent. When I turned, his eyes were waiting. They said, "Don't stop. Not now." That one gesture held me together. Days passed, weeks. Our steps left more than footprints. They left lessons. I filled my journal with drawings, faces, wisdom found in the most unexpected places. By the time we came home, I wasn't the girl who had bought a donkey out of impulse. I was rooted, wiser, quieter. Charlie taught me patience. The trail taught me endurance. Strangers taught me how to receive kindness. But the most powerful lesson, that companionship doesn't need to explain itself. Sometimes it has rough fur and a voice like a trumpet and walks beside you every mile. When we returned, our neighbors stared, amazed. My dad hugged me tight, looked at Charlie like he understood everything. "You wrote a story no one else could," he said. Even now, when I hear a distant bray or glimpse a donkey in a field, a slow smile finds me. I remember the mystery, the fear, the triumph, a journey that began with silence and carved itself into the core of who I became. And if you ask me what mattered most, I'd say this: it wasn't where we went, it was how we went. Step by slow, stubborn, perfect step, together.